But I got a phone call one day telling that, Jagadeesh, we lost everything. It's like I had no idea what we lost everything. Then my mother explained, like, yeah, your father did gambling, and so we sold everything, the property, home. So we were on the road. I started from zero, literally zero. I had no pennies in my pocket, and now I achieved PhD. I work at the reputed institute called EIT Health. It's from European Union. I have a big brand value. I look back in my life, there's a big journey that I went, and I'm sure when I share it, people can learn something out of it. So, I mean, before jumping into the story, I will just introduce myself, who I am. So, my name is Dr. Jagadeesh Gandla. I'm born in a very small remote village called as Pedamalkapram in India, and right now I live in Germany. I am working as an Accelerator Program Manager in a European Union company called EIT Health. And before that, I did my PhD from University of Heidelberg, a reputed university, on a topic called cancer pain. And prior to that, I did my master's in one of the prestigious university in India. It's called University of Hyderabad. I studied animal biotechnology there, and afterwards I moved to Germany. So, uh, I mean, the main thing that I want to share today is that an experience in my life where I lost everything. So, I'm born in actually in an affluent family in my village in Pedamalkappuram, because my father was kind of upper middle class, so we were quite well off, and everything was there in our family, and huge respect, because we belong to upper community in villages. Normally you have this hierarchy, and everything was going really good in my childhood. And only drawback was our village didn't have proper school. So only until fifth standard we had a elementary school, and afterwards, if you want to go to higher standard, to sixth standard, you need to walk 8 kilometers every day, or you can bike. We don't even have a road, and so it was too difficult for continuing education. So at that time, my grandparents came, and they told, like, they told my father, look, you have 4 children. So I have 3 sisters, one younger sister and two elder sisters, one elder sister and two younger sisters. And they told, like, look, you have this many children, and at least a guy should have your son should have proper education, because he will be the breadwinner for your family. And so they convinced my father that they will take care of my education. So I went and stayed with my grandparents. So I mean, they trained me on discipline, and they trained me on how to get good ranks and everything. So I stayed there for 9 years. I studied there in a place called Cement Nagar, where my grandparents lived, until 8th standard. Then afterwards, I moved to different schools, 9th and 10th, and then intermediate in a place called Karnool. That's where my life really got stumbled. So I was good at studies, and I was topper, and I was doing a lot of things. But I got a phone call one day telling that, Jagadeesh, we lost everything. It's like I had no idea what we lost everything. Then my mother explained, like, yeah, your father did gambling, and so we sold everything, the property, home. So we were on the road. So like, my father, my family, they all came to Karnool. So that's the nearest town. I was in a hostel, and I had no idea what's happening. So, and then my first year intermediate, so that 11th standard, I finished, and then I went home. I realized that what happened to the life. Suddenly there is nothing. I mean, now when I want to go back to college, I just don't have money to pay the fee. And I stayed at home 3 months. So all my friends were continuing education, and on one day, I kind of realized that it's not good to just stay at home. Let me go and talk to my principal, who runs the college. His name is Vavilala Krishnamurthy. And I asked, sir, I just can't pay fee, but I want to continue my education. What shall I do? He said, like, I think he saw passion in me, and he said, yeah, just come to the college. You finish your education, but when you leave the college, you need to pay a complete fee. That's a promise he took from me. And then I was, like, excited. So I thought, like, I can pay a fee somehow. Let me go to the college and finish my education. So I finished my plus two. I got good percentage. I was like 90 plus. And the shock was, I still didn't pay the fee. And if I don't pay the fee, I won't get a transfer certificate or even the mark list that I can't continue my education. So, and I just don't have money. I mean, my father doesn't have money. We moved different town. Now nobody is earning, so my father didn't have a job. And And I mean, my father somehow managed to get 8,000. We paid 8,000, but there was still 4,000 pending. The college fees was 12,000 rupees, and it's like in terms of euros, it's not even 170 euros or 150 euros. So we were in such poverty, we couldn't even pay the fee. So I had no choice, and I quit my studies. And I need to earn my living, so I want to do job. But in Kannur, we didn't know actually. I mean, we were never like desperate for jobs. So this time we were completely lost. My father never did a job. He was an insurance agent before, but he was a rich guy. So we were stuck in Kurnool and we had no idea. And then my father's aunt, she saw us in desperate situation. So she took to a different place called Kottakota in Mahbubnagar district. And then we started look for jobs. My father's looked and he looked. So we just don't know what kind of jobs we fit for. And I was studying biology. I studied BPC. It's called BPC, biology, physics, chemistry in my plus two. And so I thought, for me, the medical representative job is the best options. It's not like going for a daily labor job. Then I found a guy who will give a job. So I was behind him all the time, like, please give me the job, please give me the job. And at the time I thought like medical representative job is really a best job because I will be meeting doctors, I will be knowing healthcare system, and also I have a role model in my life, Ramesh Baba, who is very respected in my family, and he's one of the big medical representative. And I thought like this is the best job I can get. But the sad reality is that I don't have a bachelor degree to get a job. So I'm just an intermediate plus two guy. So I'm not qualified to get the job. So I was behind one person who promised me that he will give a job. So I was really desperate. I didn't know what to do. Then I again moved back to Kurnool because in that place where we lived, we didn't have opportunities at all to do job. In Kurnool, I was ready to do any kind of job. So I started selling hepatitis B vaccination. So it was just a random coincidence. I met a person, then he said like I have a job, and then I joined him. So I was going door to door selling hepatitis B vaccination. So I mean the job was that you kind of advertise hepatitis B that it's a disease where it's like it may start like jaundice, but it kind of affects your liver. So normally you get vaccinated, but before that many adults or children, they were not vaccinated. So I was selling door to door every day. I go knock the door and I kind of ask them like, did you take hepatitis B vaccination? Do you know what is hepatitis B? If they know hepatitis B, then I will tell them about vaccination. If they don't know, then I will tell them about the disease itself. Then I will tell them that how we provide vaccination. And if I convince that person, I will register their name for vaccination, where we will have a camp the month after, and I will get 10 rupees. So that's how I started to earn my living. So I used to work in that. I used to do all mediocre jobs. I kind of did catering for the weddings, for marriages, and I was a sales boy, and a lot of mediocre jobs, whatever you can think of. Like, I mean, there was nothing called dignity of labor at that time. Whatever things come, I just need money to feed my hungry stomach and also feed my family, because none of them were working. And sometimes miracles happens. So when I was doing this door to door selling, I knocked down to one door, and a couple of guys came out, and out of them, like 6 or 7 came out. They were all bachelors, and out of that 7 people, there was my friend Yella Subur. I studied with him my plus 2, and he was shocked. Like, Jagadeesh, you were like the topper of the college. You had 90 plus all your life. Now you are on the road selling things. He was really shocked, and I mean, I told him all the story. Like, now we are broke, and if I don't work, we can't really feed our family. And he told like, why don't you still continue your study? I was like, no, I can't continue studies because I don't have money and I need to work. He was like, yeah, there is something called government college. In the government colleges, you can just register. You don't even need to go to college, and you just find a way that you get full attendance by bribing a peon or something, but you still continue your job. I was like, it's a mind opener for me. I had no idea that I could still study because nothing was planned out. Only thing that bothered me was that I need to feed my family. I need to feed myself because we don't have any other source. And then so I worked whole year. After my plus 2, I took 1 year break. I mean, because I just didn't have money, and I earned a little bit. So I didn't have even 4,000 rupees again to pay my transfer certificate in the college. So I had only 2,000 rupees. So I went to the college and told her, sir, I still can't pay my fee. but I need transfer certificate because I want to continue my education. And the sir said, like, pay how much ever you have and just go and continue your studies. So I paid 2,000 rupees, got my transfer certificate, and enrolled in government college in biotechnology. And that changed my whole discipline. Like my college used to be from morning 8 to 1 in the afternoon. Then after 1, I used to go and teach in a school. Then afterwards, again at 6 o'clock, I used to do sales job in hospitals. So I was selling biomedical apparatus like BP machines or stethoscopes. So all the hospitals in Kurnool. So everybody knew me that I am selling so and so. So I mean, it's like a roller coaster. There are so many things. I need to feed myself, my family. I need to study. And one thing that I also want to point out is my sister's education. So I have one elder sister who was married by the time, and two younger sisters. Their education was completely halted because they have no idea where to go. We slowly moved back to our village, and my father started to work again as LIC agent. But the thing is, we were not self enough. Like we were not financially enough. I still have to provide something, and my sisters don't have school. So I still remember a day where my sister cried like, Anaya, like, brother, I need to study. So what we got to know is that there are something called as scheduled caste hostels where there are seats for backward classes as well. So I belong to backward class. And on one sunny day, I think my sister and me, we walked, I think, whole 10 kilometers or something, just knocking the doors that there is a warden who has access to a hostel warden. So we kind of begged her, like, my sisters need education. Can she provide seats in the hostel? So we were unwelcomed guests, but in the end, we could convince that education is so important. And then she gave seats. So thankfully, my sister's education continued and my education continued. And there's so many like ups and downs. We had to work, we have to study. But the things that I want to tell today to you is that even if you lose everything, don't lose hope. And also, first thing is never lose self-respect, because you will be pointed out at you. I mean, I still remember that when I was doing my bachelor's and studying government college, I went to a barber shop along with my medical friends who were doctors. So I still had friends. And that guy asked me, like, Jagadeesh, where do you study? I said, I study in a government college. I was like, I mean, do you study in government college? So he looked at me so cheap. He didn't even do a proper haircut for me. Well, the thing is, there will be people who will do such things, but you need to trust yourself. Never lose self-respect. And I had that. And also, there will be a lot of haters. So I was always aiming high. I want to do something bigger in my life. So when people get to know these things, they go and talk in the back, and there are haters mainly in your close circles. But the thing is, you don't really need to pay attention. You need to make them as building blocks for your future. And never doubt yourself. Always aim high. So that's the thing that I learned, and I also want everyone to think like that. And also, I never had a plan. So everything was broke. Like I wanted to become a medical doctor, but I can't even pay my own college fee. So, and the only thing I kept myself is that I was open for any kind of opportunity, and I was embracing the changes. So when you look at me, even in the desperate situations, I never cried. I used to have proper positivity, proper confidence. So nothing was lost in me. I was really embracing it. Okay, let it come. I will face it. And that's the attitude, I think, that got me here. And one thing that also made me think is that education is so important in your life. So there, as Nelson Mandela says, that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So, and it kind of really showed my way as well. So when I was doing my bachelor's, the good thing about me is that even though how many jobs I was doing, I was so good at studies. I was always the college topper. So my lecturer saw me and he said, like, Jagadeesh, I think you are aiming so low in your life. You are studying, you're coming to the college just to get a certificate so that you can get you can get a job as medical representative, but you need to aim high. And I was like, sir, I can't even think of such things. And he told, there is somebody called Srinu sir, and he has a coaching academy which trains bachelor's people to aim higher, to get masters, and also aim to do a PhD. And then he kind of forced me, like, you need to go there. Then I went there, and I told Srinu sir, I can't even pay the coaching fee, and I don't know whether I'll be continuing my studies or not. And Srinu sir, I mean, he's a god in my life. Because of him, all my life is. So he told, like, Jagadeesh, don't worry about everything. You just put hard work, and everything will come to your footsteps. So I believed in him. He believed in me, and it's not only me. He changed lives of several thousands of people. and I got a seat in University of Hyderabad. For that, I even got a prize from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. At that time, he was the then president. He was not the president, but I got a prize from him. It was one of the memorable days in my life, and it's only because of the education. And after that, again one more miracle happened. I met a friend whose name is Abhishek Kumar. I told him, like, Abhishek, look, I think I need to go abroad to do a PhD. I want to work on cancer, and I also want to earn money. It's not only the degree, I also want to earn money. If I am in India, I don't think I'll earn much. And he paid all my bills. Like, he's the one who put my tickets, and he was there to support me. And my wife, especially Deepthi. Deepthi I met in Kannur itself, and she was like my backbone all the time. Like, whatever I say, she said, yeah, just do it. We are there. So Abhishek and Deepthi, they pushed me so much in masters, and now rest is all history. So I moved to Germany. I finished my PhD. I worked hard on cancer. We published quite a nice papers, and yeah. So the things worked out, and my sisters as well. I'm proud of them. My sisters finished their studies. One sister is doing a job in post office, and another one is a police officer. So they both are now front-end workers, and even in COVID-19 crisis, my sisters are proud. Even they are working like that. So things will fall apart. So you just need to do hard work, sheer hard work. Like, you don't need talent sometimes. As people say, 99% of hard work, even 1% of talent, there is no substitute for that. And that's the thing I think made us to win. And what I also learned is that now my life is at a certain stage, and I should give something back to the society. So I'm now I started giving back to society. So whenever I go back to home, so I go to government colleges and inspire people. I train them on soft skills. Here in this picture, you see that they all made their resumes within one lecture, and they were all very confident after I finished lecture. And also we run several healthcare workshops. My wife has an organization called For Her Wellbeing, and we go to schools. We distribute playing toys with them, and we distribute books. We tell stories, and we just spread joy. So I think that my life is so blessed by meeting several people who became my mentors. Like, even it could be my friends, or it could be real teachers. So I want to give back to society the same as well. So whenever I go back, I try to maximum utilize my time. It could be just little things, just playing toys. It may cost 50 euros, and you can get a big library for that. And also, I like to take initiatives. So as I told, my village doesn't even have a proper road. When I came to Germany, like, I saved my first year stipend, and along with my friends who, with their donations, I made a road for my village. And I also just love to take initiatives and help people. And IEN is one initiative where you're all there. So it's a peer-to-peer mentoring group, and my wife's initiative For Her Wellbeing, and also my alumni where I studied my bachelor's. So I built a network, and they're all flourishing quite well. So where am I now? So I started from zero, literally zero. I had no pennies in my pocket, and now I achieved PhD. I work at the reputed institute called EIT Health. It's from European Union. I have a big brand value. But the thing is, I'm still aiming high. I want to achieve something more. So I will be leaving the job soon, and I want to work somewhere where I can express completely more. And maybe I will work on grassroots levels. I will soon update you. We are working on a couple of initiatives. I'll soon update you. But I won't limit myself. There is so much to achieve. And it's the same for everyone. You don't need to limit yourself. There's really so much. There's a lot of abundance in the world, and everything comes to you when you start working. And the conclusion that I want to give today is that it's a proverb from Professor Ushi Mohandas. She gave a beautiful proverb recently. It's like, it took 30 years for me to become an overnight success. So it took 30 years to become an overnight success. So there's a lot of work that you need to become success, and it's you need to be positive. You need to self-empower yourself. You need to keep working hard. That's it. Just hard work has no substitute. And in the end, life or success is a journey. It's not a destination. Even if you're broke, or even if you're ill, if you lose something, don't give up. Just keep going. Just keep going. That's a mantra. That's all. Thank you very much. And I'm sure my story is inspiring for you, and I'm sure you will also have a lot of inspiring stories. Thank you.